Facts though.
Like that was
So
cool.
so your father started you on what style though? Like that,
Shoulder
like
Khan.
Shotokan.
That's my
What's
foundation.
Shotokan?
That's my baby. Shoulder Khan was the very first discipline I received the black belt in.
Work.
So basically, at that time, then you started rapping. You impressed the people in the park. You went through the name changes, and you bang out the black belt. So by 14, you're already a songwriting fucking black belt, which is heavy accomplishments for a 14-year-old. I'm just gonna throw
Facts.
that out there, my guy.
Facts.
Congratulations, dude. That's fucking
You know
incredible.
what? I never even looked at it like that, but yeah.
No, big facts.
Songwriting. I don't know if I was a songwriter. I just had a lot of sporadic verses.
I mean, back then though, right? Like that was technically speaking, like those were still songs back then. Like there were songs of like people just rapping with no
I have
hook
not yet
for
recorded a verse. I have not yet recorded a full-on song at this point in my life.
That's very fair.
I ain't recorded a song until I was senior in high school,
But
or
you
probably
still-
after I graduated high school. Is when
But
I
you
really
writing
first
shit on
time
topic,
stepped
though.
in the studio and went in the booth and actually put vocals to a beat. Like that was probably after high school or during my senior year of high school. But for 13, 14 years old, I was just writing. I had a notebook full of just raps everywhere, long raps. I ain't really know how to count bars well, so I have raps that will go on front and back of the page. You be
Facts.
reading this shit, then you flip the page, like, and you still, you know what
my
I mean?
OGs. My
Like,
OGs tried to
that-
explain bars to
You know
me, and
what I
I
mean?
was just like, word. And I just kept on writing.
Remember the Trapper Keepers? I had a Trapper Keeper full of raps and all that, B.
But
I
I
still
look at
got
it
my-
like having looked at back in time, there's a lot of music of that era that is just that. Guys who wrote really long verses and just rapped them. And then maybe they put a break, maybe they didn't.
Maybe they did.
I'd call that
hook.
songwriting
A lot of
enough.
times they
A
didn't.
hook. What the hell is a hook? That's what we do.
A lot of times
A
they
hook.
didn't.
What's that? You ain't got no hook. Rest in peace, my brother Delic. I used to kick all these long-winded raps, and he used to be like, "Yo, you ain't got no hooks." And I used to be like, "What the fuck is a hook?" Like a hook. And he used to play songs, right? Like I was a Big Daddy Kane fan, so he used to play Big Daddy Kane, and then the verse, and then they get to the ain't no half step, and he'd be like, "That's the hook," and I'd be like, "Oh, so for a while, a lot of my verses had the little you know what I mean? Like I was just trying to, you know what I mean? Probably not the same words, but I would just have that same bounce, like." And then he was like, "Yo, you can't keep doing that every song." So I ain't really know how to do hooks. He like, that's why I'm like songwriter. I don't know, but I had just wild raps and punchlines and wild shock value bars type shit.
I love your ability, dude. That's amazing. Great answer.
Right.
I mean, it's honest. I bet a lot of people have that exact same conversation about hooks, and a lot of people just don't want to say it. So I appreciate it.
I mean, I think that's most of like the homies, right? Like we grow up like just learning to rap, bro. You know what I mean? In the street, like so. It's not like it's not like nobody's like schooling us on like music and like song structure and shit like that. You know what I mean? And then back then
I learned rap. I think it's because of how I learned rap. Because I looked up to like Big Daddy Kane and G Rap, but they was like celebrities to me. They was people that I thought I would never see just on TV. My brother Delic and them actually rapped and had a record deal, and I was seeing them every day. So they was like my heroes. You understand me?
Word.
And I used to see Delic. I ain't see him really recording. Although I heard his album and I still got the shit, I ain't see him doing that. I saw him rapping in the parks. So it wasn't song structured in the parks. So when I thought about rapping, I'm rapping to mimic what I saw in the parks. I wasn't rapping to mimic what I heard him doing in the booth. You understand me? I wasn't rapping to mimic Big Daddy Kane or in the song. I was rapping to do. My goal was to wow them niggas in the park. That was my goal.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wow these niggas. When they pass me the mic in the park, everybody gonna fuck with me. Watch this. That's what I was thinking, like that.
But on the real though, just to like back up what Flacko was just saying, you did just describe how like everyone's kind of laid out how they rap, only with a different framing that makes it be like, yo, that makes a lot of sense though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I know. I'm saying it like that because I know that's what I wrote. That's what was in my head whenever I wrote rhymes. The park. Oh, I used to like come up with a hot rap.
Yeah, you were trying to impress. You knew what the crowd was really starting to fuck with, and you were starting to try to appeal to the crowd by like writing things that you would know, like, you know what, my neighborhood, everybody in my neighborhood right now is fucking with X, Y, and Z, maybe sneaker or this movie right now or whatever, you know, slang, you know, is like local, and so you're crafting things to appeal to that crowd in particular.
Yo, my nigga, listen to me. I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? I wrote a rhyme back in the day. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Black girls call me daddy. Senoritas call me padre. Some young shit, right? I don't remember what goes after that, but that's how I started, right? And I couldn't wait to kick the shit in the park, right? And this the same year that Nasty Nas verse for Live at the Barbecue came out.
Word.
They played it in the park. And I heard that when I was 12, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. I didn't even want to rap. I didn't even want to kick my rhyme. Like, you would have thought Nas was there and said it. Like, the DJ played that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo. And then they kept running it back. Everybody was going crazy over the front. And I remember, that's how I remember Nas. I remember that was the first time I heard the nigga. I didn't even know his name. I knew his name because he said it in the verse, but I didn't know him. I didn't know how he looked. I remember hearing that shit, and I said, oh, I got to step my shit up. Niggas saying shit like that. Niggas said when I'm 12. And in my mind, I'm thinking he was 12 in the verse. Like, that's a 12-year-old spitting that? Later on, you realize he didn't say I was 12. He said when I was 12, I was the hell.
Yeah.
But in my head, when I first heard it, I'm like, yo, that's a 12-year-old? Oh, I got to step my shit up. Like, nah, I ain't kicking nothing today.
Yeah, nah, that was one of those verses that like, you know, it made a lot of people perk up, like, yo, this is different. At the time, nobody was saying like he was saying something, right? Because like what made it controversial was like the I went to hell for snuffing Jesus part, right? Like nobody was saying like some disrespectful.
My rap's
a trifle.
I shoot slugs for my brain.
My brain's just like a rifle.
He was like, damn, Pete, the stage. I need a microphone.
Like phone split.
Play the tuffy while I'm on some pretty tone like
shit.
This nigga verse was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I thought it was a 12-year-old at the time.
At that time, nobody had like really.
But he was
like,
even though he was still complicated. 16. He was 16 when he.
Yeah, no, he was still young. He was still young when he wrote that shit. So, Nas, that's, you know, he gets the respect that he gets because he deserved it. He earned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
shit like that.
So
that's a whole fact. Can never
shit like that.
So if I understand then, which is amazing because I've never heard somebody bring it up like that where they run it back. Honestly, I haven't gone to a lot of vibes where people run songs back until very recently, where a DJ was running the shit back, and I'm like, yo, that's a real thing people do. Whole different vibe that I'm used to.
Nah, it was just a feeling. I hear certain songs and it put me back into certain eras. Like, I can remember where I was when I first heard that verse, Nas. Like, I was at the Parks. I can remember. I could damn near remember what I had on. You know what I mean? Like, that. It's one of those. It was one of those moments. Like, the first time I heard Eminem did the same shit to me. I thought he was black. You know what I mean? I heard him on a song with my man Shaban Sadiq. And he blacked on that shit. And I was like, yo, who the fuck is this? And when I found out he was white, like, it ain't really, but it was just so crazy to me when I found out he was white. Because at this time, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't think a lot of white rappers was that nice. Like, we had like third base.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You know what I mean?
Him being that nice is what I thought that he was Mexican.
When he got verse in the sauce, he got verse of the month in the sauce. They had a picture at the bottom. I said, "Oh, this nigga the white boy." That's crazy. But
what I picked up, I picked up the "Still Don't Give a Fuck" single, and when it was just a picture of him out there on that pier, on that port or whatever out there. It was so distant that I couldn't see what he looked like, and the way he was dressed, I don't know. I just thought he was Mexican. I was like, yo, this dude's Mexican. This is the nicest Mexican to ever fucking spit a bar. Yo, this kid is fucking nice with it. Yeah. Nah, absolutely.
So, those are standout moments in hip hop to me that helped me form me as a writer as well. Because I used to hear they shit and like, oh nah, if niggas is rapping like that, then I need to step my pen up.